Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you to be an equipped disciple. And to another day of your daily devos, I'm Pastor Rick, and we're hitting the second part. I would say second half, but we really covered more than half yesterday in chapter 19. So we're going to hit the last section of chapter 19, and that was more information than you needed. We're going to be in verses 30 through 38. So fewer verses today. So hey, maybe we get in and out in under 10 minutes. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You can say a prayer. All right, here we go. Like and comment, subscribe if you want the video to last less than 10 minutes. No, just kidding. All right, here we go. Verse 30, Lot departed from Zoar and lived in the mountains along with his two daughters because he was afraid to live in Zoar. So departed from Zoar and lived in the mountains along with his two daughters because he was afraid to live in Zoar. Instead, he and his two daughters lived in a cave. Then the firstborn said to the younger, "Our father is old and there is no man in the land to sleep with us, as is the custom of all the land. Come, let's get our father to drink wine so that we can sleep with him and we can preserve our father's line." So they got their father to drink wine that night, and the firstborn came in and slept with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she got up. So this is going well, you know. I mean, this is okay. The next day, the firstborn said to the younger, "Look, I did it. Why don't you do it tonight?" And so then they did. So both Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The firstborn gave birth to a son and named him Moab, and he is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger also gave birth to a son, and she named him Ben-Ami, and he is the father of the Ammonites of today. So we have the Moabites and the Ammonites, those people groups. This is their origin story. This is where their entire family line came from. Essentially started in shame and a mess. All right. I mean, yikes, right? So a couple of things I think for us to walk away with today. One, decisions have consequences, particularly living your life in fear. When God has told you what to do, where to go, where to be, just do what he says, right? Like, instead of asking to go to Zoar because it's a smaller place. Well, even that smaller place ended up being too big, too much. He was scared. He was living life in fear. So they went and lived in a cave. I mean, what was he thinking? I mean, talk about self-centered living to the hilt of it, right? I mean, just goodness gracious. Choosing to live in a cave, choosing to live away from all the people. And it's because he was afraid of living around too many people. And so decisions have consequences that are not just your own consequences. They belong to people around you, after you. When James chapter 1 and verse 5 just tells us, if you lack wisdom, just ask God and he will give you the wisdom that you ask for, because he gives liberally without reproach. If you ask and you actually believe and you don't doubt and you're not like a wave of the sea tossed about by the wind. So ask God for wisdom. Don't just go and make the decision that seems the easiest. When you're afraid, when you're hitting something in your life and you think you can't overcome it, ask God for wisdom. Ask God for a solution. Because God is never out of options. He's never at a place where he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do." God never gets to that place. You may get to that place. I may get to that place. But God never gets to that place. So he's always got an option. He's always got a way to help us. So ask him for help. Ask him for wisdom. Ask him for a miracle. Ask him for a solution. Don't just go and cook up your own solutions, because that's what he did. And then that's what his daughters did, because they didn't really seek God. They just looked at each other. They looked at each other. They looked at everything around them, and they said, this is a factual description of our environment. So they weren't lying. They weren't deceived. They just only had a human perspective. They didn't have any kind of God perspective on the situation. And God's never out of options. So they look around and they think this is the only possible way that this solution can be solved. A violation of God's principles, like that's not the right decision. That's not the right plan. However, God is so faithful to redeem even your and my garbage, right? Like the terrible decisions that we make, because I don't know about you, but I got a few in my record books where I could stack them up. Maybe not quite, maybe not quite with Lot. He's kind of down that road, a little ways, but I definitely have taken the reins of my life at times and tried to solve a problem that I was facing without asking for God to help me, to give me wisdom, to give me some options. And I'll tell you what, the times that I did stop and ask God and then wait, let me tell you, there was one time I was in a situation and I was in a small group of men. It was about 5 of us. We got together. We were going through this book together, and I hit a little situation in my life where historically I had not handled those kinds of situations well, and I had made terrible decisions as a result. And so I just told them. I told them all. I said, "Hey, guys, this is what's going on in my life. This is a decision that I need to make, and this is what I know I'm supposed to do for right now. I don't know what the answer is. I just know I need to ask for God's help, and I need to wait. I need to wait long enough to give God time to help me in this situation. And so I need you guys to keep me accountable so I don't go and do dumb stuff." And boy, I'm telling you, one of these days I could catalog the rest of that story for you. I'm just telling you, it turned out so much better than I ever could have imagined. Like God came through in straight up 100% miraculous fashion it was mind-boggling. And even still, even though it was mind-boggling to me, it was still like nothing for God, like no big deal. Like God was like, that was easy. Like I don't, like he's like, I invented the easy button, and so that was easy. And so always remember, decisions have consequences. God gives wisdom. God is never out of options. And if you've made a terrible mistake, God can redeem it. And specifically where we see this situation redeemed, they did have, years and years and years of people hating on the Ammonites and the Moabites because of their origin, right? Just because of where they came from. But if you look at Matthew chapter 1 and you look at the lineage of Jesus, you will see a woman named Ruth pop up in the lineage of Jesus as part of the family of God. And she's a Moabitess. So she is from this rejected, judged line of people. And God said, come on into the line of Jesus, because I want to show people for the next thousands of years that I'm the God that redeems. I'm the God that restores. I'm the God that can work with any kind of broken situation. So I hope you are strengthened and encouraged today. God bless you. Have a great day. And guess what? I'm going to see you tomorrow.